Hello, my name is Robin. I'm one of the co-founders at Tezus, and today we'll talk about a much awaited topic, the debugging for agentic test execution. So we'll cover two key topics today as part of this discussion. One is the recent addition of the capability of viewing playwright traces, and the second is looking at the agent's thoughts after it has completed the execution so that the user can easily debug the flow and the paths which the agent has taken for running your test cases end to end in an autonomous fashion. So let's get going. We'll look at both of these topics through a quick demo, and we'll see how to go about debugging the runs from the world's first open source testing agent, Hercules. Assuming that we have already run a recent test case for lead creation, wherein the user logs into Salesforce with specified URLs and creates a new lead with Indian dummy data and then ensures that the lead is created. Once we've run this test case, not only can we see the beginning traces of the execution in the terminal itself, whether the test case passed or failed or not, we can see much more detailed execution traces when we go to the location where Hercules is saving all its artifacts. So I have set them up into the OPT folder as per the README instructions. And if I go inside proofs, look at the recent execution, I'll see the run folder created for the test case which was run. And if I go inside it, not only do we capture the network logs, console logs, videos of the whole execution and screenshots, you'll also find this new folder called traces. What is inside this? There's a small zip file, which is actually the file generated by Playwright and can be viewed using the Playwright trace viewer. So you can go to trace.playwright.dev, just drag and drop the zip file generated by Hercules over here, and voila, it opens up the Pandora's box of the agent's execution. There are a few key items to note over here. First and foremost is this lovely timeline at the top. So what we can see is that as a result of the execution, Hercules captures all the trace of the execution in a nice timeline format thanks to Playwright's capabilities. And for debugging the agent's execution, you can just scrub through this timeline very naturally left to right and see which actions were taken and what was the state of the application at each snapshot. What you can also see is on the left hand side the actions which the browser agent took. For example, it waited for a few seconds, or it did some clicks or took screenshots, and so on and so forth. And then when you hover over these, it scrubs you to the location where it was taking that action and shows you the screenshot at that specific moment in time. You can also see the metadata of the execution over here. Let me drag this a little bit, and we can see that the metadata captures what was the start time, what was the engine, so on and so forth. And then for each action, before and after, the screenshots are captured over here. At the bottom, you can also see that there are a few tabs filled with information around the agent's execution so that you can debug each and every step and go as atomic as possible. So for example, you can look at the console. Oh, I think we had some issues with iframe. Or also the network traffic forward and backward. Not just one, but all of it, HTML, CSS, JS, and the other elements as well. Look at the source, the attachments, errors, log, call, and the locators. So in summary, Hercules uses Playwright's capabilities of generating the trace, and then if you go to trace.playwright.dev, you can easily debug the agent's execution. Isn't that awesome? But wait, there's some more to this demonstration. So not only does Hercules generate the traces thanks to the capabilities from Playwright, we also capture the agent's thoughts as it goes through the execution of the test steps. So if you go inside the log file folder generated by Hercules, look at the most recent run or the test execution, you will see something known as the agent's inner thoughts. So if we open this JSON file, we can see that what are the thoughts which were streaming inside the agent's head while it was going and then executing your test steps. So our test step was around lead creation in Salesforce, and as we can see, the agent figures out the plan for execution and also looks at each and every step, understanding what are the specific actions it needs to take to complete the execution. For example, here it mentions, oh, I should enter the password, or maybe I should click on the login button, so on and so forth. So in this case, even if you provide Hercules with high level abstract goals, Hercules breaks it down into executable plan, and then once it goes to the execution, it logs all the steps it follows into this agent inner thoughts JSON file for you to easily debug all these later once the execution has completed. So that brings us to the close of today's demo. And with these enhanced capabilities, you can easily debug agentic test execution by Hercules. Do check us out on testzoos.com and feel free to shoot us questions on our Slack channel. Thank you and a happy Valentine's Day. Bye bye.